We're in trances, going all to different places, different planets. Watch your aura pass me by, losing balance. What if we run out of time and second chances? Empty-handed, you left fast out.
Hello, and welcome to Let's Talk with Sandra. Today, I have the honor and privilege of interviewing Mr. Ron Brewer, Councilman-At-Large and entrepreneur. So, good afternoon. Thank you for allowing me to have this conversation with you today.
It's good to be able to sit down and have this conversation with you.
Thank you. And I'm going to start by you telling me where you were born. Are you from Gary? Were you born in Gary?
I was originally born in Chicago in
Really?
1975. Yes.
Oh,
South side of Chicago.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. So when did you move to Gary?
We moved here when I was in third grade.
Okay.
My mother worked here.
Mm-hmm.
My stepfather worked here.
Mm-hmm.
So they was commuting back and forth. My mother had a bad accident on the toll road.
Really?
And it just made sense that they relocate here.
Wow.
And so both of them was entrepreneurs. They had their businesses here.
Mm-hmm.
So they decided to move to Gary.
Moved to Gary.
Yes.
So how old were you?
I had to be about seven?
About 7?
7 when I moved here. Yes.
Okay. And once here, what school did you attend?
I attended Etna School for a while. I think I did Etna School probably for 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
And because of school at that time, the population was so big, they bused us, some of us, to Nobel.
Really?
So I wound up going to Nobel.
And Nobel is where?
In the Miller area.
Okay.
You know, Etna's just right outside of Miller. So they bused a nice portion of us out of Etna to Nobel.
Really? So the school population was that large?
It was that large. They didn't have room at Etna, so they had to bus us over to Nobel.
Wow.
Yes.
And once you finished elementary, you went into what high school did you attend?
I attended Wirt High School. Yes.
Which one?
Wirt
Wirt
High School.
Which is located where?
Wirt is right off Grand Boulevard. You know, we had a middle school in the area, which was Kennedy King
Really?
Middle School, and Wirt was our high school.
Wow.
So I graduated from Wirt High School.
Okay. Were you a good student?
I would say sometime, depending on who I was sitting next to in class. Yes.
So, and what year were we talking? The 70s, the 80s, rather, right? We're talking what year?
Well, I came out in 94.
94.
I came out in 94. Yes.
And so you were in Gary. For you, what was it like growing up in Gary when you moved here, going into middle school and then high school?
Well,
what was it like for you?
When we moved here, we moved to Etna. Etna was a mixed community. Our block pretty much was predominantly whites on our block. And we were probably like the 5th black to move on the block.
Really?
In that area there, yes. But shortly after we moved in, we start seeing the area change. A lot of for sale signs went up and people started moving out. Yes. Wow. But the area always kept its character. With the new residents that moved in, it has always kept its character.
That's good. What was it like as far as stores and going shopping? Was it still like the stores and stuff here, or had the stores already started moving, you know?
Well, I would say we never too much traveled in the downtown area. We would go, we had a Kmart, we had a Zayres, we had a Aldi's, we had Radio Shack, which was my favorite store.
I remember Radio Shack.
I love electronics so much. We had, I'm trying to think, it was a lady store that was out there, Stewart's, I want to say. I think I worked in that store when I was a teenager and everything. I worked in that store. We had a lot of things. We had Ponderosa out there, so we had restaurants in that area. There, we had the Big Wheel that was there. So we had a lot of things that you can do just in that area. Yeah. And even in Etna, we had a grocery store in Etna, which was Beeline grocery store, and there was a big candy store that was there also. So there was a lot of things just in that area by itself. Yes.
Wow.
We had a cleaners that was next to Key Market. A full cleaners there, Retzel Drugs that used to be there. So we had a drug store there. We had a lot of different
everything
things.
right there in the community.
Absolutely. Yes.
Wow, that's
and that's not even talking about what was the things that they even had on Lake Street with Ming Ling's that was there, other restaurants that was on Lake Street there. So it was a
Really?
lot of diverse different things just in our area.
A mixed culture, like a cultural environment right there
Yes,
in Etna.
in Etna. So we haven't
And
even traveled towards
Broadway,
Broadway or
yes.
towards Glen Park. This was just things that we hit right there.
So you didn't really need to come outside of your neighborhood. Really, it's right.
Right. Well, and even then when we did come out, we had the Village Shopping Center. It was still was a lot of stores in the village at the time too.
Was it?
Yes.
So was the village like shopping center, like the mall
Yes.
for you all
Yes.
growing up?
I remember when I was younger, our family is big on family reunions, and we would have bake sales and things of that nature, and we would be inside the village with our little stands
Really?
set up, selling our baked goods for fundraiser purposes.
Wow. That is awesome. That is
Yes.
absolutely awesome. You know, and of course, you don't see, I wouldn't have known, especially Etna, that was so vibrant,
Very much.
you know, because most of the time I talk to people, we're talking about Broadway, you know, downtown Gary, but now I'm hearing a different side,
Oh yes, yes.
you know?
A lot of people, not blight. I mean, you
Yes.
actually had homeowners throughout Etna.
Yes.
I can say that because for years, as being in middle school, all the way through high school, I was a paper boy.
Were you?
Where I pretty much cover all of the Etna area.
Did you?
On both sides, you know, and I was known in school as the paper boy. So I always had a little money in my pocket, even in school. Yeah. And I always had a little hustle, I would say, going on, because if I wasn't, I would do the papers in the morning. The weekends, I'm cutting people grass throughout the neighborhood. And on Saturdays, I run my own little car wash detail business in my mother's driveway. So the water bill became mine on my own. They didn't force me to do it, but I had a little sense to know, hey, I'm using all the water and things of that nature. So I would wash and detail all the neighbors' cars on Saturdays. You know, Fridays or late Saturday evening, I'm cutting the grass, and I pretty much hit the whole block.
Isn't that something?
Yes,
that is awesome. You know, and so you were already a young entrepreneur, but that is something that our young teenagers need to hear and know, because there's a honest way to make some money. Washing all the neighbors' cars, detailing them.
Yeah, I had
How much were you charging?
I think for a wash and wax, I was getting $20.
Really, back then?
Yeah, $20.
That was a lot of money.
Yeah, a lot of money. You know, grass cutting front and back, you would charge $10 for the front, $10 for back. Some would pay $15, some would pay $20. So that's what was the going rate then. You know, they get a full detail now. And you're at hundreds of dollars now. You know, that's big money. Lawn care people are making big money doing lawn care.
Did you have any help, or were you doing it
alone?
alone?
It was me.
Really?
Later on, I brought on a couple more of my friends, or younger friends, and one a couple years younger than me. Got them started with the paper route, things of that nature.
Really?
They couldn't touch my lawn kicker. That was right now. They couldn't touch my detailing because certain neighbors just didn't let other people touch their cars.
Yeah.
Yes.
Isn't that something? So what year did you graduate from high school?
1994.
1994. Did you go to college?
I went to trade school. I graduated from Lincoln Tech. Yes, I went there. Electronics.
Really?
Yes. So before I even went there, I had started one of my main jobs there. I started working for Champ Doors and Windows.
Really?
I was inside the career center, and someone plugged me with Champ some kind of way. I don't know how it happened, but I got plugged with Champ, and I was matter of fact, I was at the career center. I took a welding and machine shop. So I learned how to weld, and I knew how to read blueprints out of the Gary Career Center.
Really?
And I came out with a certificate in both of those areas from the Gary Career Center. Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I went into Champs to just learn how to assemble doors, because he was assembling doors and, one of the main door business owners inside the city of Gary.
Really?
And I wound up becoming the painter for him to start painting the doors.
Wow.
And so I started feeling a strong affection for just painting. Not art, but just literally putting paint on objects and walls and things of that nature. Yes.
It's just amazing how life can guide you to certain loves that you didn't even realize you have, just based on what you do.
Yes.
But then I also, it's admirable that you went to the career center and started a career.
Yes.
You know, because not everyone goes to college.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some may go in the military, some may go to college, but we always forget that career centers build careers, and you
Absolutely.
come out there, they train you to come out ready to work.
Yes.
And in, you know, my opinion is always that that's something that should be encouraged for every high schooler, whether they go to college or not.
I have always been gifted with my hands, and even to learn how to do some of the technical things like change the light plug and things of that nature there. I like to watch people and learn different things as a young man, you know, growing up. And so I kind of knew early on that college, I kind of wanted to go, but I'm like, it's a bill. And I'm like, I'm already doing certain things that people go to college for. So that's what made me, well, I got involved with another gentleman named Roy Young. Roy Young was working with a company called, it wasn't trading property, it was called LB Management. One of the biggest apartment complex owners inside the city of Gary.
African American.
Roy Young's African American, but he was a contractor.
Right. So it was a black owned business.
Black owned business, yes.
Right.
So I got hooked up with Roy some kind of way, and we started painting apartments.
Really?
Roy entrusts me a lot. Started learning not just the painting of the apartments, but actually how to do drywall.
Really?
Things of that nature there. Then I started learning the business side of how to write up the invoice and how to bill for it. So he entrusts me with these things, and people will say, "Oh, you need to leave Roy because he's using you. He's making all this money, and you only getting this and that." But I knew I was learning something else from Roy. I stayed with Roy about 10 to 15 years with Roy, working with Roy. After Roy got ready to retire, and they were going to move away because the kids had moved down south, so they wanted to go be with the kids. Roy basically handed everything over to me.
Really?
All his contacts, everything. So I was already established with the owners, with the managers and things of that nature there. And so it was an easy transition because I was already working with them in a capacity. They would see Roy pretty much just to drop off bills and, you know, pick up checks. But I was the one that they would call to actually get the work done.
Isn't that something?
And that relationship still goes to this day. Roy and his wife has passed on since then, but I'm still in that business as of today and doing even more.
Isn't that something?
Yes.
And like just from you being loyal.
Absolutely.
To him and honorable and not listening to the hearsay.
Oh, absolutely. I would have missed my moment.
You would have missed your moment.
Yes. I would have missed my moment. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Because, you know, just being patient.
Yes. And that's what a lot of people don't have is that patience.
Yes.
Yes.
So that is awesome. So right now, you're still in that business?
Yes.
Same name, company name?
No, separate name. It's called Perfection Decorating. It's my company. I am a general contractor now.
Okay.
So I can do more than just the painting and things of the nature. I can basically build a house if I choose to, you know, yes.
And so what I want to say, what projects have you worked on?
Well, just
under your
recently we're working on the Al Thomas project now.
Okay.
That's inside of Gary, right off of
which I had
Broadway.
The privilege of seeing.
Absolutely, I worked on that project there, and that was a complete rehab of that building there, which desperately needed it so bad. And I'm so pleased to work on that project with the construction. I guess that's the GC that was over that project there. Great company, BCM. BCM. Eddie Tarver also is a local here. Work with him also on that project there. Great people to work with, you know, to see us put something back into our community and the quality that we put inside. It made me proud to see our residents getting something that they do deserve.
Yes, absolutely. I walked in there and I thought I was in a hotel.
Absolutely. It gives you that feel.
Yeah, I felt like I was absolutely in a hotel and I wanted to live there.
Yes, it's nice. It is very nice. It's a place where if I needed to move my own mother, I will move her there.
Absolutely.
Yes. And that's my model there. Even with the work that I do, I try and give you something that I would want to stay in. Give you a finished product that I would want in my own home. You know, so I try to treat people like people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's honorable, and I appreciate it because I love that place. I wanted to move right in.
They got vacancy. We just finished up the second floor, so it's 20-some vacancies there. They're taking applications, so.
That's right.
Yeah, 55
You know,
and over.
And if you don't know, the Al Thomas building, they do have units available.
Yes.
It's based on income or no income.
No income.
So
no income guideline. Yes. Yes. That's huge.
That's huge.
Yes.
That's admirable.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely.
So once you got your career going, you got married?
Yes.
What year?
Oh, we got married.
How old were you?
Yeah, you really put on the spot there. I say 2000 and was it 2 or 4?
Okay.
We've been married 19 years.
Really?
Now. Yes. We've been married 19 years. We're blessed to have 5 kids.
Okay.
Yes.
Boys, girls?
3 girls, 2 boys.
3 boys and 2 girls. Any grandkids yet?
No grandkids.
Okay,
yeah.
one day soon.
Yeah, we're going to take it slow. Yes, I have my youngest girl. She's in college now, North Carolina, A&T.
Yeah.
And my son,
congratulations.
He is still at home with us. We only have one at home still with us.
Yes.
He's 15 at Steel City Academy, freshman.
Wow.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Job well done.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're gonna right now I know you are a councilman. You're a councilman here in Gary.
Yes.
Prior to becoming a councilman, what did you do in the city of Gary besides your own entrepreneurship? What made you want to get involved in politics, I should say?
So I started with former councilman Roy Pratt with the city cleanup committee. I would say I kind of got engaged with that. It was not so much a political position. Right. It was just about cleaning up the city. So I got very involved with that. And even to this day, I'm still just had a meeting today with the committee and the department heads. And I saw so many things that we can be doing inside our city. So that was a niche. It got me kind of, sort of. It wasn't that I just wanted to be an elected official because I was part of that. I literally want to see our city better than what it was.
Yes. So, I asked the questions, right? You say you saw a niche. Give me an example from your opinion, because everyone has their own opinions. You know how it goes. What you saw or what you think the city needs most of all.
People to care.
Yeah.
More people to care. We have people to care, but we need more.
Yeah.
I see what you see. I see individuals pull up to the traffic light, throw bags out.
Yeah.
I see people that don't take care of their property.
Yeah.
I see businesses the same way. Some do a superb job of making sure things are right. Then I see some people just put out any type of product.
Yeah.
And don't care. So I think overall what the city really needs, it needs individuals inside the city to care. Whether you live here or you have a business here and you come here every day.
Yeah.
But we need people to care.
Absolutely. I have this thing, like if I go to certain gas stations and it doesn't look up to par. Yes. I talk to the owner and I say, is you the owner? If he says yes, I say, brother, I could you, is it okay? Is it possible for you to keep this a little cleaner? I said, because if I'm spending, I don't want to spend my money here and not feel like I'm appreciated and that I have to walk through this,
Absolutely.
So I would have, and we have conversations.
Yes.
And you know what? They do it.
Same here.
They do it.
Same here. I don't have a suit and tie on every day. And I tell people that you're going to see me in either some painted whites or some old clothes that I'm working in. And so I go in these businesses and a lot of times people don't know who I am. Yeah. And I make little comments like, hey, I need you to use your restroom. No restroom. And they shut me off. Yeah. And I ask another question. Hey, this may be outdated or something like that. Yeah. Well, give me here. I'll take it off and this and that. And after I get through with all that type of stuff, then I'll show them some ID and let them know who I am. Yeah. Oh. I said, well, I came here last week and your bathroom was out of order. It'll be fixed by the end of the week. I said, well, I'll be back. Yeah. And so now, you build a rapport with them. Yeah. And they don't get offended. No, they don't. Because it's all about your approach. Right. And if you talk to someone with love,
right? You don't have to go in there and have an attitude.
Right.
Just be loving and kind.
Now, there's been a couple of them I had to kind of go a different route with, but it hasn't been a few.
Yeah.
It hasn't been a lot, I would say. It hasn't been a lot, but just a
Maybe
few.
It's different with men.
I had
but
to
me,
give
I haven't had any.
Yeah, you might have an advantage over me, so I'll give you that.
Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw a gas station, the only one that was there. He had a perfect location coming off the highway, roads, and when I saw it, I was almost afraid to stop because of the condition, how it looked. But I stopped anyway and I went in there, got what I wanted. And I said, "Are you the manager?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Do you mind if I say something to you?" He said, "No." I said, "Do you realize that you are sitting at the most perfect location? But it shouldn't be a situation where I'm afraid to make the stop to come to your gas station." So I said, "You may want to consider sprucing it up.
Yes.
Fixing it up so that someone like me, I'm a female by myself, won't be afraid to stop. And Absolutely. It's daytime." Absolutely. And he was like, "Okay, thank you." And those are the things that we have to, not even gas station, could be anything, store, the streets, if you see it and you can do something about it, do something about it. And if you can make a suggestion of kindness, do that. That's the only way stuff's going to really change, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely.
So I understand when you say people that care.
Yes. I would say by having a conversation with a lot of the gas station owners, they have made some significant improvements.
Yes.
Some still have a ways to go, but they are moving in the right direction.
Absolutely.
I would say what really probably got a lot of wheels turning is the last ordinance that it wasn't so much an ordinance, it was a potential ordinance that was going to be put in place where they would have to have armed security guards at the gas station.
Really?
I think that opened up a lot of their eyes that we were serious about some things.
Yes.
We didn't pass it, but we was able to pull them all in the room and have a conversation, a deep dive conversation on how they operate inside the city.
Yes.
You had several ones that made some significant changes in their business.
Yes.
And they start putting the pressure on their counterpart to do the same thing.
Yes.
And I just want to recognize the one that's on 29th and Brewer, right there by the Hard Rock Casino.
Yes.
It's a Shell's gas station, but it is well put together, well lit. Camera system is just very put together.
Absolutely.
Very nice.
Absolutely.
Very much.
I've been by there and it is nice.
Yes. So that's a standard that we would like to see at all of our service stations, throughout the entire city.
And you're right, it's getting there because, when I ride past, I'd be like, "Oh, that look nice." And sometimes I stop and go inside and I see the floors and everything shiny and, and I always compliment. I say, this gas station really looks nice.
Right.
Because you can't just complain.
Right.
You got to also give compliments as well.
Yes.
Yes.
Because sometimes some are connected some kind of way.
Yes.
Maybe be a family or maybe they own another gas station too, And when you find out how those connections work, they start making those changes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And now I'm stuck on the gas station.
Yes.
But, and right now you were telling me how you ended up getting involved in becoming running for council.
Okay. Yes. So I got involved with running for council because I thought there was something missing. There has to be something going on that I just don't see. I go back to this. My wife runs her own business. She runs a daycare, and she wanted to open up a daycare. And we hit a lot of red tape with just a daycare.
Wow.
And I would sit back and watch council meeting. I would see the daycares come up and they just move on through. But we hit a hiccup inside of daycare and we wound up getting past, but we went through some challenges. And I said, if we're dealing with it for the daycare, how many other businesses have to jump through all these hoops and go through all this red tape? So that inspired me by itself to run. Outside of that, I thought some things can change for the better for our community. But just seeing that little small situation that I would say in the city, I would wonder how many other businesses are going through all the red tape trying to get some things done in the city.
Yes.
So that inspired me to run. And I didn't want to run in a district where, and they would say, well, run for precinct committee person and start off there and or run for a district, start small, I knew I had to connect throughout the entire city. Now I live on the west side of Gary now.
Yes.
I don't live in Etna or Miller where I used to, but I knew I had some connections throughout the entire city of Gary.
Yes.
I've done quite a bit inside the city, you know, with helping people and doing different things.
Yes.
So I felt the compassion to want to represent the entire city of Gary.
Wow.
So I was blessed by God and the great people of Gary to give me a chance to make a difference inside the city, and I'm truly grateful for it.
You ran for Councilman-At-Large.
Councilman-At-Large, yes.
And won.
I won, yes.
Isn't that something?
Yes. I had some steep competition,
that says a lot.
but I won. Yes. Yes. They gave me a chance, and I don't take it for granted. You know, it's a pleasure and an honor to be able to serve your city, and I want to make a difference.
Yes.
I don't want to sit here year after year or being reelected, and we're at the same point.
Absolutely.
I want to see a change. I push for change. I use the slogan, pushing Gary forward.
Yes.
And I mean just that. It's a push, but we have to move forward when it's all said and done.
Absolutely. And I understand what you say, or what you mean when you say you don't want to be sitting in a position and there's no change. And I'm not going to say anything, but in my opinion, and you know, I always have my opinion, there seemed to have been a lot that have been just been in council position, and there is no change. But it is time for a change. It's time for a big change. As everyone know, here I go, you know, I support our current mayor wholeheartedly, because I see the changes that he has started to make in Gary, and they have been, and they, in my opinion, they have been positive. I see when I drive around. I drove on 11th Avenue the other night, from Broadway all the way to Taft, and I thought I was in Vegas. Every single light was on. It was beautiful. I wanted to take, you know, I take my phone out of the field, but I couldn't. I was driving.
Yes.
And I was just so happy. I was like, wow, these are the possibilities. You mean Gary used to be lit like this? And then when I looked down some of the side streets, the lights were on as well, you know? And that just shows patience, right? Because understanding that, yes, these lights were out, but we went through the pandemic. It's been for years. It may have been parts, whatever, like you said. But the beauty to see the entire, and you know, 11th Avenue is on.
Yes.
And every light was on.
Yes.
And I could just I was thankful, you know? And that's what I do. I try to see the positive. And I've only been in Gary 2 years, but I can see the difference when I first moved and the difference today, you know? And it's commendable.
Yes.
And in saying that, what kind of influence or have you had since being Councilman-At-Large? When I say influence, like what kind of suggestion or new things have you, brought to the forefront?
Well,
I don't know how to.
Before I get to that, I would say I've always had a good relationship with the mayor.
Yes.
Former mayor, Karen Wilson, and Mayor Jerome Prince. Even when you first start, you know, you kind of got to get to know each other, see where everyone is at, where the mindset is at. So it's a learning process, you know. Everyone's learning each other, trying to figure out each other. What's everyone's angle, you know. Sometimes you think of the next person trying to take your job. It happens. Hey, we all elected officials. So, you know, council today, maybe we want to, you know, judge tomorrow. You just never know with people. So, you know, you're trying to figure out everyone, you know. But working together is very important to make the city go. You know, one person doesn't have all the answers, you know, and to be able to make suggestions and to get some things done, I think that's huge. You know, we just had a meeting today with the cleanup committee, and these people are off the clock with department heads. I had the major department heads, code enforcement, public works there, recycling that's there, you know, constituent services that's there, and some other ones that was there giving suggestions and talking about just cleaning up the city. And with me being the chairman of the cleanup committee, I'm able to get all these people in the room together and have these discussions. And there's some things that we're going to talk about to the mayor because we want to make some changes and they all agree about those changes. But to have those relationships, that makes a difference to getting things done.
Absolutely.
And for the mayor to entrust me with his people.
Yes.
Because these are the people that he's really in charge of, not me.
Yes, yes.
But to allow me to have these conversations with these people and for me to be able to just pick up a phone and call them. Yes. Hey, I need this done. Such and call about this problem, that problem. Yes. I don't have to go through all these different other channels.
Yes.
Because I have that relationship, I can get these things done. And it makes a difference.
It absolutely does.
Yes.
It's going to make it, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the future of Gary.
Well, you asked
the things that I see.
Well, you asked a question too about what have I been able to do just recently, you know, even with our paving, and I have to commend this administration. We did almost $5 million last year in paving. Yeah. Now there's a little bit left that needs to be completed off the paving schedule from last year, but we did a study on all of our streets inside the city. So we know which one is the worst, and which ones that, you know, they can go another probably 5 to 10 more years before we touch. We know that. We have all that data. And our objective was to hit all the main thoroughfares first.
Yes.
So we wasn't coming inside your neighborhood and things of that nature, but we've been doing that since I've been on the council.
Wow.
The mayor did some the first year, I think a year, maybe the second year, and off he did some paving because, you know, COVID came in there too. So a lot of things came to a standstill. I don't think anything took place that first year that he took in office. But the second year we did some paving. But this last year we pivoted and we maneuvered a little different. I suggested to the mayor, I said, Mayor, we've been on this for a little while now, you know, paving main streets, because before there was a lot of main, like you talk about 11th Avenue, you couldn't drive from the east side to the west side without knowing where the potholes at or hitting potholes, blowing tires. I mean, it was just all over the entire city. 4th Avenue, 5th Avenue, which those are state roads. We have worked with the state as well as local to make sure we address all those main thoroughfares going through the city. But last year we maneuvered differently. We said we had to go inside neighborhoods, and I brought that suggestion to the mayor. Let's pave inside neighborhoods. The mayor thought that was a great idea. Let's come off of our normal schedule. And let's pave what people see, what they look at their house at. It's a lot of roads to pave in the city.
I know. Gary, to me, Gary's like a whole, I don't want to say like a city. Gary's like a whole city.
It's big.
It's big. It's like California.
It is big.
I saw a map, a real map of Gary, and I was flabbergasted. I never knew it was, because usually you only see where you're at.
Right.
But when you see that map.
Right. Yeah. And the $5 million sound like a lot of money.
That's no money.
Hey, it's not. When your average block inside the city is between $45,000 and $65,000 in paving.
Yeah.
So you can eat up that very quickly. We utilize the wheel tax. A lot of people ask, well, where's our wheel tax going? That's that additional $25 that you pay, I pay, you know, for vehicles, extra little trailers, motorcycles. You pay additional $25 for the condition of the roads.
Yeah. So
that's like a little bit over 1.3. The number goes up and down, you know. And then we actually matched that with a grant also from the state for $1 million. So that still doesn't take us too far, but we had to put some additional dollars even with that to get us to where we need to be. We pave. There's still more paving needs to be done. We're looking this year, hope we can do at least between $3 to $4 million this year.
Wow.
We know we're constrained with dollars.
Yes.
We're very much constrained with dollars. So we're trying to do our best. The city's been neglected for a long time. But I can say since I've been here, we have made strong progress inside the city.
Yes.
Whether it is paving, we've been targeting the demolition very hard, especially in our commercial district, and targeting a lot of homes that's inside of our neighborhoods.
And I've seen them. I've seen the homes or the blight, as they call it, no longer there. You try to find, be like, oh wow, that's really gone.
Yes.
You know, but I'll say this. I'll be honest, and I say this. Sometimes, you know, you just see things and you want stuff being a citizen because you don't understand what happens behind the scenes. And I remember, I think it was Dwight William. I was having a conversation with him, and he was talking about the buildings being demolished, you know, coming down. And my first response was, okay, well, what are you going to put up in its place, you know? And he was, you know, we were having this back and forth conversation, you know, and he was explaining that, you know, first you get rid of the blight, and then of course something else is going to be there, you know. Me being me, I was, well, something should go there right, or you should pull them down and put something up right away, you know. Oh, smart, you know, but not thinking it through. Right. You know, but as I actually sat and thought it through later, right, I said, that makes sense, you know, because you can't always pull something down and put something up right away.
You have to have investors.
You have to have investors. You have to have the money. Right. Sometimes the land itself even needs to settle, you know, and, but what you're creating the space for it.
Right, right. Well, a lot of people think government job is to actually build things. Government job is not to do that. We have a basic, is to provide services to you.
Yeah.
Police, fire, trash pickup, make sure roads are paved. It's very simple.
That's it.
Government job is not to build malls.
Yeah.
It's not. There's a lot of things people want government to do, build housing. That's not our job as a city ran government.
Yes.
We have taxpayer dollars. We're supposed to provide services.
Services.
That's our ultimate job, to provide services.
Hospitals.
To you. Yeah. That's all private entities that does those different things.
Yes.
But you have to tear these things down and get the property shovel ready for an investor. Make it appealing to investors to want to come. Absolutely. So if you have blight all over the place, you know, you got rows and blocks of buildings that need to come down. That's hard to entice an investor to come and say, I'm going to put a $40 million facility here, and I have all this here. So in Broadway, from Glen Park area all the way down to what City Hall is at, we have made a big stride in getting rid of a lot of things. I came on to the council, and that was one of the number one objectives, to get down to Sheraton. I came on 2012. 2012, yes.
Wow. Okay.
So you had the Sheraton Hotel, you had the old Walgreens strip mall that was there. You had some other buildings that was a little bit farther going south by the senior high rise there on both sides of the street.
Really?
All of that stuff have come down. The welfare building wasn't there.
Right. I know that's new.
Yes. All that is new there. Broadway office new, that wasn't there.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of things that have come down.
Yeah.
So it's basically getting things shovel ready for what's to come. You know, we're talking about the whole thing with double track coming into the downtown area. We're getting new, I'm trying to think of the word there, trying to say there. Think of it right now. Yeah. But there's a lot of different things. I need to edit that. Yeah, so there's a lot of things that's coming inside the downtown area. So we're trying to get things coming into the downtown area. That's the Metro Center that's coming. That's going to be a huge game changer for the downtown area there. Yes. There's a bill that's going to give us at least $10 million to remove structures and the targeted areas inside the downtown area there. Yes. More or less between the 4th and 5th Avenue corridor. To open that corridor up for development. Yes. Wow. So that's a game changer. Yeah. So, you know, there's a lot of things that's happening here. I think we have to keep doing our job as elected officials to make sure that businesses know that we are open for business. Yes. And we're willing to work with you.
And you said since 2012, I didn't even think that far. You know, I've only been here 2 years.
Yes. I mean, you're 12.
I just see what I see. Yeah. But you saying that there's other structures that's already been removed since 2012.
Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. Yes, I wish I had the entire list just to start naming some of these buildings here. But, you know, a lot of residents that's been here for a long time, they see that these things have come and a change has happened. I remember when I first ran, I had a meeting with residents, and one lady said, well, "What are you going to do in the downtown area and this and that?" I said, "Ma'am, right now, I don't see anything that's going to happen in the downtown area. That I know of no investors that's coming and things of that nature there." And, working with the previous mayor, we started talking about how we can work with other outside agencies to make things happen. Gary Housing Authority. We started working with Gary Housing Authority. We started working with the county. We started getting some type of federal dollars to come and help us remove a lot of these different blights. And we started being able to tear these different things down. So it wasn't too long after that I was able to go back and have another meeting and say, look, some things have changed. We're going to be focused on some things in the downtown area. And at that time, it was the Sheraton Hotel that needed to come down.
Where was that located?
Right outside City Hall.
Really?
The main entrance that you go in now where the Hatcher statue is at. It used to be they call it the White Elephant. The Sheraton Hotel stood there. Abandoned.
Really?
Yes.
In front of the City Hall?
In front of City Hall.
You never.
There was a lot of plans that they were going to redo it. It was going to be a mixed use, a senior building with some other commercial space in there. Nothing ever panned out. So the goal was to remove that blight.
Right in front of City Hall.
Right in front of City Hall. Yes.
That is something else.
Yes.
Now I'm going to ask a question because I hear it asked all the time. So I'm going to ask you. The Genesis Center.
Yes.
What's your thoughts on that?
Genesis Center.
I can give you mine.
Let me go first.
Yes.
Okay. Genesis Center is a facility that has been struggling for a while.
Yes.
Under the former mayor, we had discussion about it. I sat as the vice president on the council for 3 years. Then after that, I served as the president for 4 years. During my years as the president, looking at the budget and as things come across, the city was subsidizing the Genesis Center at an enormous amount of money. Yes.
What do you mean by that?
Subsidizing. The money that they was bringing in was not enough to pay payroll and the taxes and utilities and things of that nature.
Wow.
The city, the taxpayers was picking up that tab.
Got you.
Yes. And just to see what we was bringing in, just to have a facility of that nature continue to operate like that was not cost effective for us.
Yes.
Me and the former mayor made a stand that even with our churches, non-for-profits, that they bring these things back in-house, stop taking them to outside venues.
Yes.
And we did that for a whole year. We did not patronize anyone that took their venues to another facility outside the city of Gary. So if you didn't use the Genesis Center, Marquette, or some other type of venue, we didn't participate.
Really?
Yeah, so we did that for a whole year, trying to get the people to come back and support what we had here.
Yeah.
There was a problem. I saw at one main event that I was at, I think it was the United Male Chorus had their annual celebration there. It was dinner time and the food didn't come out in a timely fashion. It was time, I guess they were going to bring the main speaker up at this time. A lot of people wasn't fed at that time.
Really?
Of course, I'm the elected official. My table has gotten food delivered, but there's so many. The house is packed. The main floor is packed.
We're talking to Genesis Center.
We're talking to Genesis Center. The floor is packed and time is going on and food is not coming out.
Really?
I left my table and I basically went in the back, started getting food, put them on tray, table, and I served the people.
Really?
Yeah, and anyone that was at that event can testify to this, that I served the people that day.
Really?
I took a different approach with the Genesis Center that we can't run a business like this.
Yes.
We cannot. They still needed funding.
Yes.
I took a standpoint with the council that I was not going to support any more subsidizing of the Genesis Center.
Yes.
And it wasn't just the Genesis Center. It's to take a look at all of our facilities now.
Yes.
Hudson, Campbell, Genesis Center, the golf course, Marquette. You have to bring in your revenue to sustain yourself.
Yes, yes.
That what brought us in with the golf course too.
Really?
Money was not coming in to maintain the golf course, the grounds.
Yes.
We had a tree service that came in. I'll go back to Genesis real quick, but we had a tree service that came in that were doing tree service. And I'm like, we have a lot of dead trees out at the golf course.
Yes.
He said, you have almost 200 trees that need to come out of the golf course.
Really?
That were dead.
That's a lot of money.
Enormous amount of money. Just trees
yes,
alone.
I know.
We also had the flood that took place,
Really?
and someone hit the pumping station out there. So the price just kept escalating.
Yes.
So as an elected official, you have to ask yourself, we have all these things that need to be done in the city.
Yes.
And we're in charge of run government with taxpayer dollars.
Yes.
Where are we best serving the people of Gary?
Mm-hmm.
We know we have a need of blight. We know people still need curbs, sidewalks. They need the infrastructure, the roads to be done, traffic lights in general needs to be done. And what is the best way to service the people? And we have to make those decisions that we have to close things down.
Yes.
We could not continue to run it efficiently.
Yes.
Inside the Genesis Center, it's an all electric building, pretty much. The escalators ran constantly inside there. That's a huge on the utilities.
Really?
Inside the Genesis Center. That was a nice venue to have different things. I think my wife threw my 40th birthday party there because I support Gary.
Yes.
You know, I wasn't taking it outside the city. But just that alone could not sustain that facility. There was a lot of things that need to be done as far as HVAC system inside there. Make sure that it's heating and cooling properly. Certain part of the building was not heating properly in there. You know, the kitchen, we would have to run the ovens to make sure the pipe wouldn't burst in the wintertime.
Really?
Yeah. And see, these are things that people don't know. But these are things that we had to do.
Yes.
So the hard decision had to come that we had to do something. We was in these discussions, previous administration, about all of our facilities. But this administration looked at it and found that it was not efficient enough for us to continue to put money into it.
So this administrator or current mayor, he had inherited this.
Yes.
Everything else and had to also make a decision.
Yes. Yeah. It's no different than when my time to leave or when the mayor's time to leave. Somebody's going to inherit something and you're going to have to make that decision.
Yes.
What do I do?
Yes.
And hopefully the finances change for the better.
Yes.
You know, we're working on some plans to make sure that starts to happen too, but it's not going to change tomorrow.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it's bad if we wanted to change tomorrow. It's just not going to change tomorrow. But you start planning, you start working towards that change to make sure that next generation could be a little better off than what we left.
Absolutely. You've got to be strategic.
Yes.
About spending, strategic about everything. Because it's so easy to just, and again, I go back to even myself as a consumer. We just see stuff or we hear stuff and we just want it and we think we have all the best ideas and that, but you don't know until you know what's really happening behind the scenes. We just see the finished results.
Right.
We don't know what happened before it got completed or what it took to get it there.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yes.
And that's something that I'm learning to just be patient and just, if I need to know, ask and find out. Don't just run and, want this and they should be do that. If that's the case, then maybe that's just I'll be thinking. If you have all the answers, then run for office. If you think you have all the answers and you think it's easy, run for office. Right?
Not that easy. And even when you do get in and you come with all those answers, you can't get it if you're on the council.
Yes.
If you can't get at least 5 to agree with you,
it's not
you're just having a conversation either with you or somebody else, but you need at least 5 people to agree with you. And you need a 6 just in case it needs to get veto proof.
Really?
Yes. So you can have all the answers, but someone else has to see your vision or how to get to where you're trying to go. So you need at least 5 people on the council to get anything done.
Wow.
Yes.
Is that good or is that bad? in your opinion?
I think it's good.
I think it's good.
So you have to work to convince some people. I have something up before the council now, so I think we're going to get there. Mm-hmm. But you just have to work through the process.
Yes.
Sometimes the process can be a little long.
Yes.
I'm hoping we don't string this thing out here. But yeah, you just have to work through the process.
Yes. Yeah.
But I think we'll get there.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. And a strong council will make a stronger Gary.
Absolutely.
And a together council will make a better Gary.
Yeah.
And a one unit council,
a strong together council yes.
will make a better Gary.
Yes.
I'm kind of breaking it down in seconds because that's what I see.
Yeah, and not saying we're going to agree on everything. Yes. There are going to be some things we just don't agree on, and that's all right. Mm-hmm. But we have to get to the point where we don't get stuck there.
Yes.
That's what happens here. We
and
get
nothing
stuck.
Moves forwards.
That was the ordinance 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
But we're still stuck with the 2 week ordinance. And now a month that came and we're still stuck with that ordinance. Yes. But we're mad about what didn't happen there. And we can't move forward because we're still stuck and we hold those grudges or we're still upset over those things. We have to move to the next thing.
That's right. Because it's not, in the end, in my opinion, it's not about your feelings. It's about serving the community, serving to do what's right for the community and the people that are dependent on us, on you.
Yes.
You know, and I'm thankful that in my opinion, we have a great leader who I feel has that personality and that patient and that intuition. Mm-hmm. And someone that I feel don't hold on to stuff that can work with anyone. Yeah. You know, that's my opinion. Mm-hmm. You know? Yeah. Me and the mayor, we kind of bumped heads at the beginning part, you know, but we quickly recognized, you know, there was a greater cause for both of us to do work in this community, and we couldn't stay at that place there. Absolutely. He will reach, I will reach, until we get to a point that, hey, we got to make this thing happen. Yes. Yeah. And we constantly in communication with each other, constantly about different things, you know, that needs to be done. Yes. When problems happen, I either can call him, call the deputy mayor. Now we have a chief of staff. Yes. I can get those folks on the phone to try and get some results there. Yes. You know, as you talked about earlier about the traffic lights and lighting in one area. Now we have a problem now in another area where there's some no lights in no area. Traffic lights is either been hit or they're flashing or they're out. So now, you know, we have to deal with pivot, now maneuver. Now, how do we get this done now? In a timely fashion. Yeah. We know overall there needs to be a traffic assessment throughout the entire city because you just cannot remove traffic lights. And so, this worked 30 years ago. We don't have the traffic come through. There has to be assessment done to do it. That's according to the law that we have to do that. But I have a little different approach to that. But we do know what streets. Yes. Me and you can know what streets. Yes. That there needs to be a light working there. Yes. Let's deal with that now. Yes. That's my approach. That's a good idea. Absolutely. So we know some of the busy intersections. Some things are just kind of common sense to it. Yes. That's some things we're going to need the engineer to step in on because we don't know it all. But some things we can sit in the room and say, okay, we know we need a light here. We know this light needs to get back online right away here. Yes. Let's deal with those. Let's get into the room. Let's agree on this. And let's see how we get it done. Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. But there is a need to do an overall assessment throughout the entire city to get us where we need to be with all the traffic lights. But right now, there's a need to get some of the main things done as far as traffic lights right now. Lighting that needs to be done in certain areas. Absolutely. Yes. We need to make sure there are still some areas that need lights. Yes. That is important too, because more lights, less crime. Oh, absolutely. Because the devil don't like to work in the light. The devil likes to do his dirt in the dark. Right. Now, the lights are not just going out because we're turning them out. No. Either the system is failing. Right. But a lot of times, either someone is running into the control box. Yes. Hitting one of the light poles there. And the city doesn't just have a pile of money just sitting to the side to fix these things. A lot of times you have a lot of people riding around here with no insurance, so we can't even recoup any of the money back for those things. Really? Yes. That's right. I have at least 5 different incidents within the last year on my phone where I have cars that have hit poles and things of this nature, and there was no insurance on these cars here for us getting the money back.
Right.
So if someone hits a light pole or a pole or takes something out, their insurance company will pay the city for that damaged item to get it replaced.
Right.
But if you have no insurance, then it can't be done.
Can't. You get money out of someone that doesn't have it. And if they don't have means of an income where you probably can go after a lawsuit with a garnishment or thing that, they have a job where we can go after with a lawsuit and garnishment, you're basically stuck. Yeah. So by the time you get through paying attorney fees and all this type of stuff.
My soul.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And so now, once again, you are running for Councilman-At-Large.
Yes, absolutely.
This time, how do you feel?
I feel very excited. There's a lot of moving parts inside our city for the better.
Yes.
For our city, and it's only going to get better. I really feel it's only going to get better. As I said earlier, I have seen the change from 2012 up to 2023.
Yes.
It's only going to get better. I've seen property values that was, I would say, in my mother's area there, I use her areas, that area where they have dropped to like $8,000 to $9,000 at one time. Property value.
Wow.
When I remember as a young man, one of the homes that sold for $98,000 in that area.
Yes.
Now property values is up again.
Yes.
Where people are selling, they are coming in, fixing up and things like that. And not just in that area, throughout the entire city, property values are up. So we're on the upswing in sense. Upswing, yeah.
And that's good.
We're still clearing out land. We have taken on some of the school corporation property. We have gotten those properties there. Nobel is coming down very soon.
Really?
That's my old elementary school, but it has to come down. It's a blight.
Make sure you take a picture of it.
It's a blight right now. It's a blight. We can't get attached to these buildings here. There has to be a plan, or we have to come up with something, to remove these blight here. Just in this area here, in the Towson area, hopefully by the end of this year, we will be getting Ernie Powell down. Yeah. Ernie Powell is a prime property for a new development to come in. Wow. New housing development, market rate, which market rate helps increase the assessed valuation. Yes. It raises the median income with the market rate. And when you have more people with their median income raised, then you can get those commercial structures to come in. Because now they're looking at these dollars that are just sitting here. Right now, the median income is low. Yeah. And we have to work to raise that. If we want to see you, for example, your Targets to come in, your Walmarts, your Home Depot, your Lowe's to come in, you have to have a median income. Yes. So we have to work very aggressive to get that done.
Because look at Chicago. They've lost their Walmart.
Yeah.
And who would have thought?
Right.
You think that, oh, wow, in Chicago, everyone's going to be spending money. But it wasn't enough for Walmart to sustain where they were. It had nothing to do with anything, I don't think to do with color. It was just it wasn't
the dollars.
The dollars.
The dollars. Yeah.
And if it can happen in Chicago, it can happen anywhere.
Oh, absolutely.
But Gary's on the upswing.
It's
where
definitely on
they're
the
going to come this way soon.
Yes. Well, we're going to make it, we're going to plow this land. We're going to make that opportunity very great for them to come here. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I'm definitely excited. There was another question I was going to ask you. First of all, you didn't tell me your birthday. When you said, what year?
June the 10th.
June the 10th.
1975.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
June 10th, 1975.
Yes. Birthday coming up very soon.
Okay, there's another question I want to ask you.
Yes.
Now, there've been talks, because, about having a new convention center.
Yes.
And the location where it's supposedly going to be by the casino. My question is, with a casino, with a convention center out there, which is basically by the motorway, highway, as you all saying.
Yes.
How does that put dollars into, how would that offer bring business to businesses here in the city. If someone's visiting out there at the convention center, they're close to the motorway, they're nowhere in the city. How would, in your opinion, do you think that's a good idea?
Well, you're lowering that traffic back into Gary. You have an attraction. It's a convention centers there. You got Harvard out there. We have a lot of small businesses that get very creative in our city.
Yes.
And with us working together to not just market the convention center,
yes,
not just to market Hard Rock, but market our small businesses that are just doing great. Some thinking outside the box things.
Yes.
I'm very happy about what I'm seeing here.
Me too.
Yes. So it's not so much that you get your name brands that you normally would see.
Yes.
They get very creative now, and they're bringing their own brand, their own style to Gary. So that's what I love about our people. Yes.
Me too. Me too. And, I would like to see, if anything, I would like to see the convention center right where the Genesis Center is, but in a newer, more modern, updated fashion. And because in my opinion, if the convention center were to stay in the downtown area, it would help all the other little businesses or other businesses that are going to be around there, whether it be a restaurant or somebody wants to go and look at the store, buy something, or walk around, or maybe it may even encourage a hotel. That's where I would like to see, in my opinion. I think that's where it would be beneficial most to the people, to the city, to Gary.
Well,
and keeping the traffic here.
Well, I think the first thing is that the city has to make sure that we're not trying to be in the convention center business.
Right.
This is a private entity that needs to come in and run it. I think that was the problem with our convention center. City of Gary was in the convention center business that we probably shouldn't never have been into.
Understood, yes.
And I understand the purpose of the convention center, the reason why we had it, why we had gotten it. But I think we held on to it too long. It probably should have went to a private person hands to run it.
Yes.
But I understand what you're saying that in the downtown area there, with the whole thing, with what's taking place with the double track, the new metro center that's going to come. I think that in itself is going to change the footprint of the downtown area.
Absolutely.
There is talk about a new metroplex being built and for city departments all under one roof. I love that concept.
Me too.
That alone will get you to where you're trying to go with the traffic.
Yes.
You have, your courts, you have your police department, your health department, a brand new state art fire department downtown, along with your other department heads and things of nature under one roof. City hall, city council, all that under one roof. That's a lot of traffic flowing there. That's not what's taking place with the county. That's not looking at what we can do with the old city hall building, if that's done for us, a museum and things of that nature there. So there's so many outside things that we can do just with those three buildings by itself. So I think with the traffic count that will be in the downtown area, just utilizing that space there, that invites other businesses to want to come and put something there.
Absolutely, because that's what we need.
We're already working on plans to do infill housing downtown. So the first thing you got to do is get some people to live around with all this stuff here. So we got a plan together now to do some infill housing of all that green space downtown.
That's going to be awesome.
Yes.
That's an excellent idea. You don't have her, but that's an excellent idea because it's just that's an, yes. I can see it.
Absolutely.
And it's definitely right. If there should be a convention center, I think it should be privately run.
Yes.
And not put that strain on the city.
Yes. Right.
That would be awesome.
I like the idea of out there where the casino's at.
You do?
I would say probably my preference, I probably wouldn't have even a casino, probably wouldn't have been there. I probably would have tried to get it more or less towards the midtown, off of Broadway, 25th Avenue. That probably would have been me if I was, but that's not there. It is on Burr. That's going to be, that is our entertainment district.
Really?
We're going to grow it. Yes. We're already calling our entertainment district. I think we need to go ahead and put the boundaries in place as policy to, ensure what our entertainment district is.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Yes.
That makes sense. Because right now it's just like the casino's just there.
Yes.
And as I drive past or look at it, I'm like, wow, how many of the businesses that are there, what traffic are they getting from the casino? It's how many people are coming to eat at the restaurants? How many people? You know what I mean? That's. So I see what you're saying.
Right now, our casino is the number one casino in the state of Indiana.
Yes, it is.
It's the number one. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
There's plenty of room. They got plenty of land to grow. We want to build a hotel on site.
Absolutely.
That is part of the plan.
Yes.
A parking garage is needed.
Yes.
Also too, and they either have room to go out or go up.
Yeah.
So they have plenty of room. But it is noted though, a casino cannot sit on an island by itself.
Absolutely.
So we have to bring these other amenities in. I think the conversation of bringing the convention center is huge for the casino itself.
Okay.
And as that come, not just Hard Rock building their hotel, you open up for other developers and other hotel chains to come in also too.
That's I can see that.
Yes.
That's excellent.
And as you know, some of the 5-star and even some of the 4-star hotel, they have banquet facilities inside there where you can host conventions and things of that
sure
nature.
Do.
So, a lot of that can, work together even with the convention center too.
Yeah. Absolutely. I see. So I see the vision.
Yes.
I see the vision. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like you say, the other things will create for traffic, the Metroplex. It's going to be.
Yes.
It's going to be something. I can't wait to see it.
Oh yeah. Coming soon.
Coming to you soon.
Coming soon. We have to get the plan together. Then we have to worry about start concentrating how we're going to get the financing.
Yes.
That's always the magic question.
I know.
Where's the money coming from? So
where's the beef?
Yes, absolutely. But I think location.
Yes.
We have to market what we do have.
Absolutely.
This location, you just can't pick up and move it.
No.
That body of water that sits out there, you cannot pick it up and move it. It's there. It's not going anywhere unless the good Lord moves it.
Yes, absolutely.
And, we have to take advantage of it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. New fresh ideas, fresh minds like yours and others that I know that are going to be sitting in council is well needed.
Yes.
Because sometimes us, and I say me, because I'm older than you, we get stuck in our old ideas and we see things the way it was in your mind. And that's what you see when you talk about, wish it was the same. You really don't see that new vision. You've just basically seen the way it was sparkly when you had it. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So this is why, in my opinion, I believe it's very important that we do have city council member, Councilman-At-Large like yourself and other young council members sitting in their seats.
Yeah.
Like, I must say, call names like Witherspoon. That's it. Up and young, coming council person with fresh ideas that can connect to the youth.
Yeah.
And that's tremendous. Gary's going to be great.
Yeah, they call. I'm the senior male on the council now. That seems so old, but they recognize me as the senior male on the council.
Isn't that something?
Yes, because I'm the one that sits there now with the longest tenure.
Isn't that something?
Absolutely.
Wow. But I thank you for all that you do. I thank you for all that you've done. We're not all perfect.
No,
right?
Not at all.
We all have a past. We've all made mistakes. But just as the good Lord can forgive us, we can forgive each other.
Absolutely.
And move forward, and always be kind and loving with each other. That's what makes a perfect world. Just being loving and kind and using your time in a positive way, volunteering,
Yes.
checking in what can be done,
Mm-hmm.
Not always looking for something to talk about or to complain about. See where you can fit in to help.
Mm-hmm.
This is just the way I raise my kids, the way that I try to be,
Right.
and the way I see that you are, because I see the things that you do. I see the things that so many people in Gary do that, they don't even get credited for it, but I see them out there.
Yes. Yes.
Street cleanup, I see them out there.
Absolutely.
I see one lady, I forgot where I was. Sometimes she's out there picking up trash.
Is that the lady on Broadway there that has the weed shop there?
Yes.
Yeah, she doesn't just pick up on her. She was over there by the Palace Theater, emptying garbage cans.
Yes, and that's something that I did when I had my business in Maryville. I woke up early and I picked up the trash everywhere. It's not always about, it's not mine or do pick it up, because
it's called community.
Community takes a village.
That's right. That's right. Don't wait on someone else to do something you can do. Pitch in.
Pitch in.
Yes.
And I thank you. I absolutely hope and that you win.
Thank you. Same here.
The running.
That's
for Councilman-At-Large.
That's my hope also. Yes. Yes. To continue to serve.
To continue to serve the city.
Yes.
I support you wholeheartedly. I thank you for doing this interview with me.
No problem.
I just don't know what else to say, because I meet so many great people, so many good people, and you really don't know what a person's heart is like until you really sit and talk to them, And just listening to your childhood story about you washing the cars and cutting grass, that speaks of character, because you could have been doing anything but that.
Yes.
So it just
still cutting grass. I don't wash cars. I don't wash cars as much.
Still cutting
since
grass.
They got the automatic. I run those through the automatic. But city grass. I mean, there's lots outside of my home here.
Yes.
We make sure that's cut. Lots across the street there. I got a senior across the street there. Make sure it's cut.
I do.
Outside of where I live at.
Yes.
Everyone knows I will go grab equipment and trailers from wherever and get the job done. It's only so much you can keep looking at something, keep complaining about till you get yourself up and go do something to make a change. And, I'm inspired to do it, just to serve this city, to want to see a difference done. Whenever I leave office and out of politics, I want to sit back and say I was able to make something happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Or I can sit back and see something has happened.
Yes. I do have one question before we go, and it's to do with the parks.
Okay.
Now I do know, and everyone should know, that we're getting ready to have some parks in every area. We're getting ready to have some what do they want?
Jewel parks.
Jewel parks.
Yes.
Right. My question would be, because I hear people calling in on the radio and different talk shows, etc. And it's all about, what about parks, this park and that park? My question would be, and I don't know if it's doable, would it not be, could a community, right, each adopt a park that's within their community and come together and fix that park and keep it up for the kids? We already have the dual park. You have that. But if there's a park, I'm living here and there's a park here, and it needs an upkeep, would it not be easy for just say every community adopt a park and you all, or we just be responsible for fixing it, whether it be cutting the grass or keeping it clean so the kids can have, is that something that's doable? Or is there a rule against that?
No, it's definitely doable.
That's what we
definitely
need.
Welcome it. Jewel parks is one thing, and our jewel parks is parks that we want to make sure they're jewels.
Absolutely.
But the name calls it Jewel Park.
Yes.
We want to give you a Jewel Park where
Yes.
you are free to let your kids go. You want to take your family and have an outing, picnic, or, you know, or just enjoy the amenities of the park.
Yes.
That's what we want our Jewel Parks to be. But the Adopt a Park, I think is great. It has worked in the past.
Yes.
I think we need to pick that tempo back up.
Absolutely.
You know, the Jewel Parks is not the end though. Right. That's our start. It's not our finish. Yes. I tell people that all the time. They say, well, what about this part? What about that part? This is just our start. Yes. It's almost like we're starting a city all over from scratch.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what you're doing. Yes. If you really think about it, that's exactly what
you have happening. You have over 50 something parts. Yes. It's only so much money you can collect from taxpayers with tax caps, which we all love tax caps because if we didn't have tax caps, a lot of us wouldn't be able to stay here. Yes. Because it would cost the money that the city needs to run the city. Yes. That means your taxes would have to go up. Wow. And because the caps is there, they cap you at a certain amount you can only get.
That's right.
So residents are able to stay in a certain area. I mean, you got people that's on the lakefront area. Just imagine if those caps weren't in place. Yes. You would force a lot of people off that property. Yeah. Wow. So the caps have saved a lot of people. Throughout the city, not just the middle area, but throughout the entire city. But it hurts government to provide services. So there's a win on one end and there's a loss on another end. So we kind of work together.
So we should be saying, how could we help?
Yes.
And I think Adopt a Park is the first thing, because in my mind, I'm like, wow, yes, there's the Jewel Park. You know what, kids? Today, get dressed. We get ready to go to the park. The Jewel Park, that's the outing. Yes. You know, you're going to enjoy that, whatever it has, water, whatever it is. Yeah. But on other days, we all go head to the park. But it's still safe. Right. And it's still clean. And I believe that you get the kids involved in that. Let them be a part of keeping that park up and helping plant flowers or whatever it is they want to have in that park. Basketball court, just make sure that it's safe. That way they can take pride in the community, that community, whether it be, you know, whatever, take pride in it. When you look across the street, okay, it's good. Yeah. We don't always have to depend, in my opinion, on the city to do everything. But as long as you all give us the permission to, I think we should start doing Adopt a Park like you do Adopt a Road.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I already saw one that I'd love to adopt.
Okay. I have one that they have requested that I just adopt. I have no say-so in it. Yes, I need you to adopt this part. So, well, this young lady here, she's a sweetheart. And how could I tell her no? So I got to make sure I can secure some funding to make sure we get some of the things that she would like to see done. Or just form some partnerships.
Yeah, you know, in my thing for the Adopt a Park in the community, we can do a bake sale. We can do whatever we need to do. It doesn't have to be a lot of dollars, but enough if we need to maybe put a little swing in, or if somebody knows how to pave, you know, fix it. Somebody else cut grass. Let's just do, you know, every week or every month we can do a little whatever, you know, so the kids can do something.
Yes, absolutely. You know?
Play baseball or whatever. We Adopt a Park.
Yeah. So there is, you know, as you talk about selling and doing this different things there's a reporting mechanism that has to be in place. Okay. You know, we had the Adopt a Park program, and I want to make sure I be clear on this.
Yes.
That reporting mechanism was not in place. So you had some individual that may doing a sale of this or sale of that, but there was no reporting mechanism. We're not saying that we need your money, but we need to know what your annual report was of those events that you had. Right. So we need that. So that's one of the main things that we have to make sure that's put in place also. Not just give you free range to do it. And there's certain things going on that the city does not aware of. Exactly. But there's a reporting, there's a reporting mechanism that has to be put in place at the same time. But I do support it. 100% Adopt a Park program.
And you know, do whatever you as a community to get it done.
Yes. I had individuals that came. Some of them don't live here. They got a few friends that still stay here that want to participate in Adopt a Park. And we met in December.
Really?
It was November, December. It was cold.
Really?
It was cold when we met. We were talking about parks.
Isn't that something?
Yeah. They came together. They raised over $3,000 maybe last year. Did a full cleanup inside the park. I think they brought a fence to put inside the park and everything.
Yes.
So, but they raised the money themselves. Didn't call the city. Didn't call me and say we need you here to help us. They got it done, and we need people like that.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's just going to make the change. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I had to get that in because that's been on my mind every time I love it. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you.
What I want to say, my closing to you is keep up the good work. Keep doing all that you do. I'm excited to see Gary, the future Gary. It's not going to be overnight. I already know that.
Yes.
But it's coming.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing Let's Talk with Sandra. I know I ask all kinds of questions, but this is the kind of show that I just like to talk. There's no, you can't say this, and I appreciate you being honest.
Yes.
And I thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate this so much. It means a lot, There's just so many things that we're working on.
Yeah.
Our police department, fire department, make sure they have proper equipment, along outside of making sure the pay is right. It's one thing to make sure the pay is right, but you need to make sure everyone is safe when they come to work.
Yes,
so that's very important for us. Make sure that they got proper vehicles and things in their body armor, period. Because we know what they deal with. Same time, I tell people, all the time, our police are human. They have families. Our firemen are human. They have families.
Yes, and I think
as much as they punch that clock to come in to work for us, I want them to punch that clock to go out back home to their families at the same time.
Don't make me cry.
Yes.
Just start crying.
Yeah, we lost only one police officer since I've been on the department. Well, as a councilman, and I pray we never have to deal with that again. Big loss.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you all once again for watching Let's Talk with Sandra. I hope that you enjoyed this show today. Me speaking with Councilman-At-Large Ron Brewer. As always, comment, share, subscribe, and as always, peace and love.
We're in trances, going all to different places, different planets. Watch your aura pass me by, losing balance. What if we run out of time and second chances? Empty-handed. You like fast life.